But first, we cannot escape the news, of course, that Prime Minister Rishi Sunak announced a general election last night, and it turned out to be, let me find the words, a bit of a damp squib.
Earlier today, I spoke with His Majesty the King to request the dissolution of Parliament. The King has granted this request, and we will have a general election on the 4th of July.
Right then, we all saw it, and you had family from Australia texting you about it.
I didn't know about it. I hadn't seen it until my brother-in-law started sending me memes, which is just not what you expect of our Prime Minister, when he obviously wanted to do something, you know, I suppose with quite a bit of respect.
Yeah.
And it's that sort of poetic fallacy, isn't it? The weather was reflecting the nation's mood, I would say.
Well, yeah, I mean, it did come out of the blue for so many of us. We were sort of expecting it to happen in the autumn sometime.
I know, but why didn't someone give him a brolly?
Yeah!
I mean, you know, he's got a few bob, hasn't he? A few billion. He could afford an umbrella.
We could have lent him ours,
We could have done, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem, I guess, with optics.
Yeah.
So, of course, what he was saying was incredibly important. We will be heading to the polls on July the 4th, American Independence Day, of course. But the story of the day and what's been on front of just about every single newspaper this morning is that image of him absolutely soaking wet outside Number 10. Now, he did do an interview this morning on LBC, and he said that, look, he isn't a fair-weather politician. He didn't want to break with tradition, and traditionally, every single Prime Minister announces an upcoming election or triggering an election period outside the steps of Number 10. But he could have used an umbrella, I believe. You know, Obama has done that a few times, and he was giving important news to the nation. He's used umbrellas before and looks very
How is it breaking with tradition to use a brolly?
I don't know. I don't know.
You'd think the UK is really good at it.
Yeah.
You would think. I just don't know how that came about. I don't know how one of the advisors, and there must be millions of them behind the scenes.
He said it was his own. It said it was his own choice.
But he seemed to be shrinking with the weather. That was not a wash suit, was it? That was a high-quality suit.
Yeah, it was very high quality.
I think it was just a shame.
Yeah.
Because what he was saying was really relevant. It's going to impact all of our lives. It now kickstarts a whole, you know, campaign. We've all now got to make really important voting decisions. And all we could look at was his jacket. I mean, there was this one little moment where it was becoming a little puddle in the shoulders. I mean, I was determined. I was like, I'm going to focus on what you're saying because I know this can affect a lot of people's lives. So I was really trying to focus on what he was saying. It was just such a shame that it detracted from the importance of what he was actually saying.
Yeah, and I mean, I sat and watched it with the kids yesterday because I think it's important for children to understand what democracy is and the importance of living in a country.
Kids?
4 and 6. It's never too early to learn about democracy. I think it's really important.
Voting for yet?
I tell you what, I will. Alfie came with me last time, and I explained the difference between a local election and a general election. He'll come with me next time. I think it's really important that they understand the importance of living in a democratic country. But the thing that both of them kept saying is, why won't someone give him a brolly? But look, as I said, it came completely out of the blue. And even when he was on this show a couple of weeks ago, we asked him when we can expect a general election. And he said we shouldn't cancel our holidays. It's not going to be in the summer. Let's take a look.
Do you love the job enough that if you lose the election in November... I've
got a holiday booked then, so you need to let me know when the election is.
You come back and tell us when the election is, and we'll be delighted to have you with us then.
November.
Thank you very much.
Not for your holiday.
That might mean now that he's announced it, he'll be back on this panel, so it'll be interesting to see what happens
Welcome
next time.
anytime.
Loose men. He could be a loose man, couldn't he?
I'm not sure that's possible during an election period, but it would be very interesting.
Get lots of votes.